from Bass Hole Studios in Hollywood, California. You're listening to I'm an Asshole with Doug Bass. We've all been one, so let's talk about it. Now, here's your host, Doug Bass.
He's an asshole, sir.
He's an asshole.
Hey, assholes. What's up? This is I'm an Asshole. My name's Doug Bass. This is the podcast where we talk all things assholes. You know the drill. Make sure you follow us on the YouTube channel at Doug Bass Comedy or at A-Hole Podcast. Social media, all the things, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff at A-Hole Podcast. Do us a favor, follow it, the subscriptions. We appreciate it. You know what I mean? We got a great show for you guys today. My guest today is an actor. He's a comedian. He is an internet sensation, if you want to call him that. I will, because I think he is. His name is Drew Talbert. He is super funny. You may have seen his TikTok videos, his Twitch channel show called Bistro, Huddy. He plays all these different kinds of characters. He is a Sunday Company alum, member of the Groundlings. That's where I met him. Here's a clip. Why don't you guys take a look at this, all right?
We need to tell you.
Make sure it's a booth. How many in your party?
6. Shut up.
Okay, right this way.
Wait.
Chicken nuggets.
Let me see the menu. Bo, go wait in the car.
Go on, get Bo.
Party at 5. All right, this is all going to be separate checks, okay? My wife's on the end down there, and we got the two boys in the middle.
My boyfriend's coming.
What are we doing? Are we ordering? The tall one, the redheaded one just
I'm
moved,
with this guy.
okay? Rusty,
Okay.
stay in your seat, okay?
When they
We're
order
all
separate
can't have
checks,
soda.
we're in the bathroom.
Okay, you can't have soda.
When they get back, they're with us. You'll know.
Also,
right?
Gary, the
I will
birthday
point them out
boy,
to you.
we're
They
all
have
going to
black
split
hair.
that
They're both
evenly,
also,
okay?
we
So
ordering
put his,
cocktails.
like, separate.
Are we ordering cocktails?
I'm going to get your
You guys
first
wanna get some
round,
Gary,
Gary,
okay?
okay? I got his
What are we
first
doing?
round.
I want in on the spin. I want in on the spin. One of the rounds on my check. Not split it off because I have
Steak. No steak. Just put it all in this, okay? And give yourself 20%.
I love you.
Folks, please welcome comedian Drew Talbert. Drew, how are you, man?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are things
Don't
going?
stress me out. Just watch this again. Stress me out. Been a minute.
That stresses you out watching your work, yeah?
Oh, it had been a minute since I'd seen the large party one. It's just like I waited tables so long that I've been in that situation so much. It's like it's PTSD at this point.
Right,
you know?
right. Well,
No
I
matter
mean,
if it's a big.
that's what's amazing. I mean, so yeah, you are you still serving tables, or are you not doing it with COVID right now?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to never go back.
I hear you. Yeah. I mean, it's once you do something so long and you start doing other things, you're just like, nah, I don't need that anymore. But this is really taking off for you. This Bistro Huddy, all these great characters you do on TikTok and stuff. Did you start this during the pandemic? When did you start it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's been about coming up on a year. I guess it was sometime in April. My wife downloaded TikTok, and I'm like a lot of people in my generation at the time, at least, it was like for 9-year-olds. It was like a little app for kids where you do dance. And so I had no interest, and I would watch. My wife would say, "Oh, look at this," and I would be like, "Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty funny. Look at this. Look at this." Yeah. I was like, "There's funny stuff on here," and so I downloaded it, and I started doing just random stuff. I've been making like little videos and stuff. We know each other from Groundlings, so it's
of course, yeah.
And so I would just do random things I thought were funny, and one of them was based around a scenario in a restaurant from my waiting tables experience, and it blew up. And so I realized, okay, maybe this will be my niche. Everybody's looking for their niche.
Of course,
so
yeah.
I found it in that, and I just started doing those, and it took off, and so that became my thing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially like, everything that you would do at Groundlings, like the characters, the wigs, all the props and stuff you collect over the years doing Groundlings. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like
Stash.
once you're like out of Groundlings, it's like, what do I do with this trunk of wigs and bullshit that I have?
Some people burn them in a pile. Some people, sell them.
I think I got rid of all. I kept like 2 wigs, and I was like, these 2 were expensive. I'm keeping those, and that's it.
I want them. Give them to me. I need them.
Yeah, hey, you can have them if you want them. No, it's pretty amazing, especially like your experience as a server. It's like everyone relates to these scenarios, like especially servers and customers, and hopefully you are teaching the customers like what they shouldn't be doing when they go to a restaurant, because it's like some of it's so many like it's like so many assholes come through restaurants, and they don't realize it. They don't realize it while they're sitting there eating. They're in the world. They're enjoying their food, their element, whatever. And the server obviously takes the brunt of all kinds of stuff. And you showing everyone through all these different variety of characters, like what these people go through in a comedic way is genius, in my opinion.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah. That has been a surprising part of this, because I was just trying to make something relatable and funny, and then I get comments like what you're talking about, that this is like educational, or like people will say things like, I hope this is playing on a loop at the front of every restaurant before you're seated, or I'm so glad you're. And then on the other hand, I get servers saying, because I've done some that are like giving away secrets, like because waiters. Can I curse on?
Oh, the show is called Asshole, so yeah, go ahead.
Waiters fuck up all the time, so it's like. You have to develop little lies.
Yeah.
At the table. So I did several videos about that. Like, oh, you know what? The guy took it to the wrong when you forget to get in, he took it to the wrong table. You say they, we use this they for this employee that doesn't really exist, that you blame everything on.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't bring it? Oh, I told them to. Let me go grab it, And so I'll make videos like that, and I'll get servers saying, dude, shut up. You're giving away our secrets. Like seriously, stop.
Are these people or are these just like YouTubers that are like, obviously following you now?
These are people like comments on TikTok and Instagram.
But it's like the secrets of serving people.
I'm giving them away.
It's
like, away for a laugh.
It's like, come on. It's like it's like, first of all, it's like, I get it. If that's your career, which obviously a lot of people are, lifetime servers, which is great. But if you're giving away secrets, I would say it's like, all right, is it the same as like David Copperfield giving away his illusion?
It feels like that to some of the servers for sure. It feels like a real betrayal, and like I am the asshole because. They rely on that. And I did for years. I would use it, oh my God, the kitchen lost your ticket, so we're going to get it out as soon as possible. Or, it ended up behind this really large party on the other side of the restaurant, like at 12 Tops. So it's coming, just hang in there.
Yeah.
The whole time, you just never ring it in.
I mean, I served for a while. I served tables for a while. Never did it like full time. I definitely did it like sporadically. Like I would do it for like 6 months, a year, and I would always bounce around to different restaurants. I never had the long haul place where I worked for like I tried fine dining once. I worked at the Sunset Tower Hotel for like 2 months maybe. It was like that's like a really good like LA waiting table job. Like you make bank there. And I got there and I was like, man, I can't do this. Like, I don't know if I can, like, I don't know where, like, you got to know where the forks go and which
I did not expect you to say that.
I know, but there was so many rules, like as far as like place settings and decrumbing the table and
from the right, from the left,
the woman with the blonde hair gets the salmon. You make sure you don't fuck it up and put it in front of the guy. Like all that stuff, because it's like a fine dining kind of place.
Oh yeah, there's books.
Yeah, I'm more of the like I could work at like Norms, you know, like the greasy spoon diner. You know, that's the server I am. I'm like, what do you want? A BLT? All right, hold on. You know, and then like, you know, Jersey diner kind of thing. And you throw it down, and you know, if someone complains, it's like I don't give a shit. Yeah.
That's where you can yell across the restaurant.
Right. Exactly. We want fries. Give me fries for table 3. Yeah, exactly.
Give me fries, Larry. Come on.
Yeah, that's my speed. So yeah, exactly. So I mean, it is interesting, and you know, again, everyone can relate. Everyone loves to go out to eat. So like they can definitely relate to this, even though this is a niche thing, because it's like it's so specific as far as like, yeah, you're a server, you're doing these characters, but everyone goes out to eat. So like they know the waiter, they know the pain in the ass customer. And you have so many. Go ahead.
They might be a person you eat at, you know, it might be someone in your family that you're forced to eat with a lot that you're embarrassed about, you know, because they make a series on all jokes the waiters have heard a million times, and the customer who thinks they're being funny because it's like it's original to them. You know, it's like, hey, how was everything? We hated it. And they show you the empty plate.
Yeah. I know.
Or like, did you do anything else? Yeah, $1 million. Or, you know, the winning lottery ticket. And as a waiter, you used to like do that fake laugh. So I did a series on that too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so good. And you just.
I know there's like a million standard jokes, staple jokes that people throw out at you, I'm sure. Yeah. How many of these characters do you have in your trunk of Bistro Huddy?
That's a good question. Now I know like I've created the staff of Bistro Huddy, and that's 2 bartenders, a busser, a dishwasher, 4 cooks, and 4 servers and a manager. So whatever that worked out to. That's like the regular staff. Yeah. Then I have a consistent like Karen character. And then I have this really sweet couple that always gets like lied to, but they always just take it in stride. Yeah. And I have this couple where the guy makes all those dumb jokes, and people love his wife because his wife just sits there with this like, she looks like she's on some heavy meds and just with marriage, you know, the long-suffering wife. And she just stares with this blank stare like, I can't hear this one more time. I'm going to kill myself. But so there's those kind of regular customers. And there's this douchebag couple. I call them douchebag couple. Right. And if you've served them, you probably served them at the Sunset Tower, Doug, because like they're very LA. They're just kind of like, she never wants anything on the menu. She just wants everything kind of created from scratch. And like,
I remember, at the Sunset Tower, like there was, there's a famous maitre d' in LA. His name's Dimitri. I don't know if you know who he is.
Oh yeah.
You know him? You know who he is? You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right. So
was he at Sunset Tower?
He was at Sunset Tower when I was there. He's like in the Bill Murray like Christmas
special. So I did eat there once. My manager took me there.
Okay.
And was talking about that's Dimitri, blah blah blah. And my manager was like, he's probably gonna, if he hears this, I'm sorry, Bob, but I'm not trying to talk shit. But like, Bob was like, oh, we know each other, this and that. And then the guy kind of did, but it was like, you weren't sure if Dimitri was just doing that thing he probably does where he makes everybody feel like he knows him.
Yeah, I mean, he's like super famous in the restaurant maitre d' world or whatever. And you know, when I got hired there, they were like, "This is Dimitri." Like, I was like, "Oh, who?" And they're like, "You don't know Dimitri? You don't know?" You know, and I was like, "No." And like, and then they introduced it and said, "Look, this guy is the maitre d' of LA." You know, and then it goes into like I'm training there, and like, you know, like I'd put the silverware down. And then, like, he would immediately shadow me and come over and move it like a centimeter. Like, wherever I put it was not good enough. And I was like,
not quite.
I was like, I'm like, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. Like anything I did, like, he came and, like, moved it a centimeter because it wasn't right. And it was like, this is what I'm going to have to be dealing with here. And then, like, you know, the first night, he's like, Doug, he's like, come here, listen to me. He's like, this is very important. Rick Hilton is here. Like, I'm like, all right. It's like, I'm okay. Like, it's like anything he would like, you got to like really take care of him. It's Rick Hilton. And I'm like, that meant nothing to me. I was just like, what does he want? Like,
I love this relationship. I just love, because I know you a little bit. And based off what you said about wishing you worked in Norm's, whatever, you combine with Dimitri is it sound like that's its own series waiting to happen.
Yeah, it wasn't a good idea then, and yeah, exactly. It's pretty funny though. I was like, as soon as that started happening,
you did not care at all about all the things like goes into what made Dimitri what he is.
Right.
The ability to recognize and know who everyone is and how to take care of them.
But then years later, I'm watching him star with Bill Murray in the very Murray Christmas or whatever, and I'm like, oh fuck! I mean, maybe I should have been friends with Dimitri. I was like,
oh really? He's an actor too.
I don't know. I mean, he plays himself, but like, I think he knows a lot of people, and like, he's popped up in like movies or TV specials as himself.
Can you imagine how much money has greased his palm?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly.
I mean, he probably just hundreds and hundreds,
And that's where like your mentality could get into like, oh wow, like yeah, I can make a killing doing this, like with these hobnobbing with Rick Hilton, or whoever, it's like.
He probably gets the most money from those people in LA that wish there was somebody.
Yeah.
So they kind of like, they've heard about Dimitri and like, so they're like, hey, can you take care of us? Get us, he probably gets so much money from them more than the people that he super takes care of,
Well, that's the other thing. It's like I think I've watched a couple of your videos where there's like a tipping one or whatever, where it's like it's like the tips that people leave sometimes are like mediocre, and that must as a server that would always get under my skin as far as like, wow, these people tip 10%.
I've tried to avoid it a lot. Like I've made a lot of videos, like 4 or 5 a week for a year, and like I probably maybe got 3 or 4 that discuss tipping for a reason. One, it's such a volatile topic with some people, even in the US, how they feel about it. And then on top of that, TikTok is all like, I have people that watch from other countries, so it's like, it wouldn't even make sense. Like there's such different cultures in terms of tipping. So I've tried to stay away from like, really landing hard on that, but occasionally I touch on it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And that's smart because it's like, Europe and whatnot. It's like, oh, we don't tip, it's like, exactly. Yeah. They're not going to get the humor of that joke or whatever. So you've been doing 4 or 5 of these a week. And it's a lot of work. I'm assuming. I mean, I've done my fair share of video production and stuff, and you are doing it all like on green screen. You're playing every character, which is amazing. You are like the Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy of TikTok, I would say. Like,
sure.
How much work goes into like one of these videos are like a minute or under a minute, really, for TikTok purposes, right? So how much work goes into these, like when you have like 10 characters on screen, or I don't know how many you've had, but there's like a couple shots where it's like, wow, there's like 7 Drews there. Oh my God, like this is nuts.
Yeah. I usually do them at night. So the routine is like the baby goes to sleep around 7:30, and then like I go into the for a while it was like a 5 foot by 5 foot corner of our bedroom, and now we have an extra room that I'm using a studio out of, and I just go in there, and it takes usually 4 to 5 hours from shooting it to editing it to kind of getting it all done. So yeah, like 7:30 to like midnight I'm kind of working on them.
Yeah.
And then next day. So that's the routine. Some of them take longer. They're more labor intensive with the editing and quote unquote special effects, more like green stuff. And then some of them are super simple, like 2 or 3 characters, I can knock it out pretty quick. But then it's like anybody who's done this knows content creation or whatever, you have so many platforms, so you kind of have to cut a different version for different players.
That's something
so I have to do all that too. That takes some time.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, because like I've been dabbling with that with this podcast. It's like oh my God, I want to put it on Instagram, but I gotta like reformat it for that phone tall thing, and it's like and
I do subtitles manually. I type all the words in manually and all that. And also my wife helps. Since we're talking about this, my wife, Andrea Kelly,
right?
She writes with me, so she writes a lot of ideas, and then she's amazing in terms of like with editing part. I'll let her watch, and she always is this brutal, like
that's great
in a good way critic. So she'll make me reshoot stuff at midnight. Like, I'm sorry, that just doesn't work. And I'm like, God, I have to put all the things back on.
That's awesome. She's
So,
like, yeah, she's like over your
helps.
shoulder edit. I mean, that helps though. Is your wife an actress?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, that's great though when you have another creative, force that's helping you and like chiming in like, this is not good. This
and
needs to be
who
tightened.
no cares about massaging my ego.
Yeah,
It's
my
a
wife
blessing.
is like
She
that
does
too.
that.
Yeah, my wife's not an actress or anything like that, but she'll be like, "This isn't good," or like, when I had
Awesome.
when I had done stand up, she'd be like, "Yeah, that needs to go," or like it's like she doesn't care. She'll no filter. Like she's just like, I don't know, like.
That's great.
That's
why we love them.
Exactly. I think creatives need that in their life. It's like it's definitely a way to take yourself out of the equation and see what's working and what's not working and all that stuff. We met at the Groundlings, and I mean it seems like forever ago now. But do you miss sketch? Do you miss live sketch, Groundlings, all that kind of stuff?
I do. I miss performing because I would do like once a month. I'd do that Bad Company show, and I would do their Wednesday show occasionally. That's really fun. But I still teach. So I'm teaching improv multiple times a week.
Oh, that's right. I want to ask you about that.
I get my fair dose. Yeah.
So
of that part.
So Groundlings has gone online during this pandemic, right? And how is that? Yeah. I would think that that's very difficult to.
It's better than I thought it'd be.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. You can do a lot more than I thought we'd be able to do.
That's cool. I mean, the one thing I like about it is that people from all over the world can take it now.
I have scenes where I literally in the same scene. I had a 3-person scene, and one student was in Costa Rica, one was in Great Britain, and one was in Minneapolis or something. And they were all in the same scene. And it was just, and it worked. It was like a really fun, and I was just sitting there thinking as I'm like watching this and giving notes, I was just like, wow, this is incredible.
That is amazing.
This is a live improv scene.
Right. I mean, it's kind of interesting that like Groundlings per se, like, it's like, why, it's like, why didn't this happen like way long time ago? It's like no one ever thought.
Because I mean, this is just like, it's been this huge reset. 2020,
right.
The way to how we understand things can be done and making us rethink what we actually need. And, so that's just one of those things. It would never have happened unless they were forced to. Because even when it started, Groundlings was like, hey, teachers, let's go online. If you have an idea for like a 2 or 4 class, just make it up and do it. So we were making up like our homemade classes. And then they're like, well, let's try one of our classes. And it worked. And so now they've added the whole core track.
So everything, like the whole program is online now, like advanced lab, all that stuff.
I don't know about the writing parts yet. I think
Right.
they're doing like the performance track where.
Got it. Okay. And then that's all curious because it's like, people that are waiting to do advanced or, waiting to get into Sunday or whatever. It's like what they're just waiting, right? It's like until things go back to normal or whatever. I mean, I would think that there's, but it's almost like if you went and pitched that like 5 years ago, like, hey, I want to do classes with people in Brazil and Japan and Italy.
Never
They'd be
would
like, what?
happen.
They'd be like, you're nuts, right?
Yes, absolutely. It would never. Yep.
Right. Well, that is interesting, and it's also for the future. It's like when classes go back to live classes, I'm hoping that they still keep this Zoom element of it because it does give people an opportunity to be like, I can take basic, while I'm here in London, and then maybe eventually come over to LA to take the next level or whatever,
Yeah.
So I mean, I would think it's a no-brainer just for financial purposes for them. I would think. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And I remember, I mean, your one-man show that Matt Cook and Tom Fonz they wrote it for you and directed it, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. Right side of the track.
Right side of the tracks. That's right. How many times did you guys do that? I saw it once or twice. I definitely remember that. Yeah.
4, I think now.
Yeah.
It was 3 or 4. We did like 3, and then and then that, I think this last one we did was the 4th.
Yeah, that was super fun because that was like I didn't know what to expect walking into that show, and I was like, and I knew you personally, and you're from Tennessee, right? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is just something that they kind of like brew up for you, like as far as what they thought your upbringing was. And
you're nailing it. That's exactly
nothing accurate really about it, except for maybe your accent and like things here and there. But you just
they knew certain facts about me and then just like ran with it. They knew I was homeschooled a little bit. They knew I was from the South, and they knew I had a really kind of Pentecostal, like charismatic Christian, like Southern upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of just took those elements and ran wild with it. So in the actual show, my character is the same name as my real name, Drew Talbert.
Yeah.
And I'm barefoot and in overalls and no shirt at the time. And I'm running around instead of Nashville, where I grew up. It's like Bell Buckle, Tennessee, which is a real place, far more rural. And I'm like, the story elements are hilarious and insane. And he was homeschooled in the show, but it was like by the neighbor down the street who was crazy woman. So yeah,
that's great. I mean, that was a lot of fun. Do you guys think you'll do that again at some point when things go back to normal?
Maybe. We talk all the time. We're working on an idea right now, like a show version or shooting like a pilot of it as a show.
Would be fun. Yeah, pilot would be a lot of fun for that.
We're working on it. It's like all three of us get excited about it all the time, and then it's like.
Right, exactly.
Life,
and COVID and everything. Yeah, everything goes on. Yeah, exactly. So you've been able to. So with this Bistro Huddy, now you're on Twitch, right? You do live shows on Twitch. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How is that going? I mean, I don't know much about Twitch. I just signed up for Twitch like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, it's normally like a video game streaming platform. But like
you and me both.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's exciting to kind of. I didn't know about it either, and I've had these younger guys. I'm going to sound really old here, but
well, if you sound old, I sound really old.
We're about the same, I feel like. But these guys kind of shepherded me through it and helped me get on it. And so what I realized was I can make it far more customizable as a live show than I could on like Instagram Live. I can do all these pre-done videos and like really make it feel like an exciting show. So like while I do all my characters, but while I'm changing into the other character, I'm rolling like a premiere of a new video or a trivia thing or something fun, so I can do little graphics for each segment and make it feel like a late night talk show kind of vibe.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and that's pretty cool, and that's like perfect for your kind of show because it's like it is kind of like a groundling show in a sense where like you can
improv.
Someone is playing a video while you get into your next outfit backstage, quick change or whatever, and run out.
And my wife and we built we made it. The set is basically made to look like a restaurant. So I'm sitting in it now. I don't know if you're listening, you can't see this, but like it's a restaurant booth seat I'm in.
Right.
And I actually went with a pickup truck to my old restaurant I used to work at because they're remodeling and took this. This is awesome. Table 30 I'm sitting in. And my wife and I she designed it, a host stand over here to my left. And she sits there. So she's like the co-host. So which gives me someone to banter with. And we met at this restaurant and fell in love.
Right,
so
that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
And she was a hostess and a server was a hostess. And so it's just funny. Now we've kind of recreated it here in this room and do our show.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's great. Yeah. I mean, Twitch seems like, it's perfect for that kind of setup. Like Instagram Live doesn't really have that stuff integrated in it, which is a shame, I think, because a lot of people watch live or stories on there. And there's no real way to like go live on there unless you just put your phone on, and then it's like there's illegal hacks that you can kind of like put your video into if you wanted to, but it's not like true through Instagram or whatever. So I hope they fix that at some point or come up with some kind of alternate thing.
If I tell you, if people are getting on Twitch now, if more comics got on Twitch and started doing shows like that, that's when Instagram would probably be like, oh, there's money to make here,
exactly.
Like our channel just Wednesday made affiliate on Twitch.
That's
so now
great.
we can like get subscribers and thanks. Yeah. So it's like there's opportunity there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, and it's like who knows what the next like, and now there's like Clubhouse, so it's like, you know, there's all these new platforms that come out like every other month. I feel like it's like, oh, I gotta get on this, gotta get on this now and spend hours of figuring it out.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's interesting. So now your old restaurant, are they like super like proud of you? Are they like, oh man, you're like, like, is this how it was? Or like, what are their thoughts on it?
We had the chef owner on our Twitch live show.
Okay.
We like to have a guest each week. And like we had him on and interviewed him. And, you know, we promoted his place too. So he was all about it. And he's been nice. Like you said, I shot a lot on green screen, which I do. And so you need to put in a background after you shoot it. So my wife went over there and just took pictures of the kitchen and the bar and all this stuff, and that's what I use. So what you're seeing is
the actual
my old place.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and he approved that, so he's awesome. Aaron Robbins, it's Boneyard Bistro. If you're in Sherman, California,
right? I remember. I've been there a couple times. Yeah, it's really great food.
Okay, yeah, and so just shout him out. But yeah, that he's cool about it, and then my wife and I worked there for over a decade, so we know a lot of people. And so on the Twitch live show, there's some of the regular customers I had that have watching the show now. So yeah, I think there's some people that are like proud of it or excited about it.
That's awesome. That's very cool. All right, well, this is the Asshole Podcast, and what usually
I was waiting. I was like, when do I get to be there?
Oh yeah, this is it. So what people do when they come on the show here, they dive into an asshole story. It can be an isolated incident. It could be a chunk of time in your life. Maybe someone thought you were an asshole and you weren't. Anything along those lines that you'd like to share with our audience today.
So hard to pick one.
Well, see, that's good. A lot of people come on and they're like, I don't know. They're timid.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I should probably focus it on the restaurant world since that's what we're talking about.
Well, I'm sure you have a lot of experiences and stories from that.
I've always been kind of a self-righteous prick, you know, like I was the youngest of three, and I would do that younger brother stuff. Like I would hit my brother, and if he hit back, he was bigger, so then I'd cry to mom, like, you know, that passive aggressive younger brother bullshit. And then I was also, like I mentioned, this religious upbringing, and I remember being really self-righteous about it and thinking of myself as like a better than people that weren't a part of that, you know, and I've had some major changes in my life since then. But
right.
So there's this thread. But in the restaurant world, I would get really upset sometimes. And there's two instances I'm thinking of. And the one I think is the one I'll talk about first. And if you want more, I can give you more.
Sure.
But it was at this one restaurant, I won't say where. And it was a family with like a really crazy toddler running around screaming, and then like a couple and like a grandmother, I think. And I don't know if I was already in a mood, but I was feeling agitated, I remember. And they were being assholes, which happens a lot. But as a server, you have to kind of take that. You kind of have to take it.
Sure.
And over you take it, and you just kind of professional, and you want to keep your job, and there's, you know, the tip or whatever. So you kind of take it. And then I guess tonight I wasn't going to take it, you know, and they said something, and I thought the food at this place was really good. And I had a good relationship with the chef, and I had pride in what we were serving. And they said something about they wouldn't feed this to their dog. And it was like the second thing they had said about the food, complaining about it. And it was a really popular item. You know what I mean? It was like
bestseller.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
And it got me, Doug, like in a way, like it was just like the straw. And they had ordered something else. And I forget what it was, but it was some appetizer type. And I came out, and I'm trying to remember exactly what I said, but I walked up to the table and I basically chucked it onto the table, like the dish, like from a good 2 inches off the table, dropped it where it went clang. And I said something along the lines of, here, maybe I was like, if the dog won't eat it, maybe you should, or something like that. I referenced their dog comment.
Right. Okay.
It's all and it was aggressive and crazy coming from a server, at a restaurant like this.
Yeah,
this was and they were like, their eyes got so big, and they're like, what is this? Oh, they were just on fire.
Yeah, they weren't expecting
it. Standing up. And I'm like, I'm walking away. I may have yelled something back. I was dizzy at this point. I was drunk on power and like anger, and like I was just like I was in the red. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I walked up to my manager, and we'll call him Chris. That was not his name. But I was like, I said. They were like, they told me they wanted to speak to the manager, talk to the manager. And so I went up to him and I go, hey, table, whatever wants to talk to you. And I'm just going to shoot straight with you. This is what happened. They said this about the food. And they said this. And I walked up and I threw the plate on the table and I said this. I just leveled. I was like, there it is. Okay.
Right.
Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Happens.
Honest truth.
With it.
There you go.
I was honest, true, and I was ready to, if they had to fire me, I was ready. I was at that point. You know what I mean? And he got my back. The manager walked up there and said, if you don't like our food, you don't have to eat here, or something like that. And that made them crazy. Wow. They're standing up screaming. I'm standing over in the corner. I'm watching this happen now. The manager and them are standing up in each other's faces, pointing and screaming. And he got my back. And they ended up, he just paid for their tab and told them just to please leave.
Wow.
And like they could not believe it. But that was the most aggressive I'd ever been at a table.
Right. Well,
but is it asshole enough because it was provoked? I don't know. You tell me.
No, I mean, it's definitely asshole enough. But I mean, like waiting tables is that job where, yeah, you wish that you could have a falling down moment, like like from that movie Michael Douglas, if you've ever seen it. Yeah. But like it's like literally like there's days where it's chill, and then the next day is like complete chaos, and you have those people come in that just like put that wrench into you, and they're like, and it's like, yeah, you do think like, well, no, I can't do this, I cannot do this unless I want to get fired. But I think you're absolutely right. It's like you know what? It's like, there are those people that go out to eat to fuck with the establishment sometimes, I think. Like, nothing.
They just don't want to be happy.
They don't want to be happy. Nothing is ever good enough. Like, you could like bring out a silver platter of whatever the fuck the restaurant has and kiss their fucking ass, and like they still won't be happy. It's like these people are literally going out of their way to be like I've seen people, like they go out, they eat, and then they're like, we're not paying. Like, like, no, like we're not, and they'll eat half of the meal, and then they're like, nah, and they'll get up and leave. And it's like,
wow,
what do you do? You know what I mean? Like, have you had like situations where people just walked out without paying? I mean, I'm sure that's happened.
I've had a couple, like the dine and dash, but I haven't done it where they're letting they're doing that. I've had it where it's like they ask you to get something from the back, you come back and they're just disappeared.
And they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me a couple times. That's just like wild. One was this guy. So this guy came in, and do you know Brian McGrath?
Oh yeah, well, doesn't he work there with you, or he did?
Yeah, we worked together at this place. And this guy comes in by himself, and he's like drops in that he's the head writer for Criminal Minds.
Okay,
and I'm just like, holy shit! I'm telling Brian, he's an actor too.
Yeah.
So we're just like giddy. And he gets to change our lives, like I'm like, make sure everything's great. Yeah. And he's giving us some stories and he's kind of chummy. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting to know the head writer of Criminal Minds. This is insane. This is probably like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
The show was still going. And and he was bullshitting, and he did it to like get our trust and dined and dashed this guy.
Wow.
The way it was not the head writer.
Yeah, no. I mean, see, that's what's
isn't that crazy? What a weird, and it's kind of genius if you think about it. He's in LA and he's like, what would get these waiters kind of off my scent and earn their trust?
That's true.
Make them feel like I could hook them up with a career changing
That
thing,
is true.
you know?
I think nowadays though, it's like you'd be able to call his like bullshit. Like you'd be like, okay, and then you go in the back and pull out your phone and look at his LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever. Who is the head writer of criminal? You know, and then there's a picture and then it's not that guy or whatever. It's
well, I could have done it then. Yeah, that technology existed. Maybe this is a story more about what a fool I am.
No. I mean,
yeah.
well, the thing is like you don't like, especially waiting tables in LA, you don't know who you are waiting on exactly. And when you're an actor and waiting tables, it's like it's a weird combination, I would say, because like I remember I worked at the ArcLight restaurant in Hollywood for like a year, serving tables. I did that for like maybe a year and a half, and that wasn't too bad. That was a little bit more my speed than the Sunset Tower. Not quite Norm's level, but you know. But it was interesting. You'd get people.
Not your dream job.
Not my dream job of working at Norm's. No, absolutely not. But
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll know one day I'll be in Norm's and you'll walk up and I'll be like, Doug, you did it.
My actual real dream job if I had to work at Norm's, I would say I would want to try to be the short order cook at some point, just to try it. Like I think I would fuck up royally. Because I think that's an art form too that's like overlooked in a way.
No, it is. If you've been to a Waffle House, you've traveled.
I have been to a Waffle House. Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't been in a while, but you know I grew up around them.
Right.
And in college we would go, and you know late nights after drinking and stuff, you'd go to Waffle House and these short order cooks. There'd usually be like one or two, sometimes just one for the whole place.
Yeah.
And the ones I remember would stand there. And they didn't have paper tickets in front of them. The waitresses would take the order, walk up to the side of the kitchen, and just scream it out once. And the guy would be already cooking like 15 things, and he made no perceptible sign that he was even listening.
Yeah.
And he never messed anything up.
But
They'd be over there going like, you know, and he's over there just like smoking and like doing his thing. And I was like, I would sit there with my eyes wide open going, these are the most intelligent people on the planet.
They are. Yeah, absolutely. And it's like when Norm's was open, like I used to live like right over there, but I don't anymore. But I used to go there like occasionally and like sit at the counter and order like, you know, breakfast or whatever. And literally I would sit there like and write like in a pad or whatever. But I would just like, I would watch those cooks and I would enjoy eating the shitty food, and I would enjoy watching them work. Because I was like, this is an art form that is overlooked.
Yeah.
These guys do not get enough respect. They're probably not making that much. I'm like, I don't know. But like, it's crazy. It's like they got like 10 orders of eggs and a thing of bacon that's this big and hash browns.
Are probably, you know, this one's over easy. This one's under. This one's over. You know, every 50 bacon this.
And then what's
not
crazy about that place? It's like you have all these breakfast orders, and then some asshole comes in and orders shrimp and steak like at 10 a.m.
Sure.
And they're like, you know, it's like you're in breakfast mode, and then now you got to make shrimp. It's like,
they don't blink; they just do it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that kind of stuff is definitely overlooked, I think. But when I worked at the ArcLight, it's like, you know, people sit down, like Quentin Tarantino would come in there and sit there with his pad writing his next movie, and then you wait on him, and it's like, fuck, it's like. That's, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm a director, actor, comedian, whatever. It's like, but like, you know, it's like he doesn't give a shit. And then like, you know, another time, Jeff Garlin, I waited on him and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to have a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment with Jeff Garlin. Like, is he going to hate the food? Is there going to be something weird that happens? That's like, you know, it's gonna, and it's like, you think of these things as an actor when you're waiting the tables, because like, that's obviously what you want to be doing. And it's like, when these people come in, you're like, oh man, maybe. But do I bother them? I don't want to bother them. I don't want to say something. They just want their burger. Right. You know, it's like
you're incredibly close to them and yet so far away.
Exactly. It's
doesn't really do a damn thing for you. It's just like
no,
it's a fun story. Because I worked in Malibu for 2.5 years, and then in Nashville I worked at places that had a lot of celebrities, and then I worked in Sherman. So I've constantly worked at places that had just daily celebrities,
right?
And it's just like. The only time I spoke up, this is the only time, and I've probably served hundreds and hundreds of celebrities, was Robert Altman. And he was, rest in peace. He, in Malibu, just eating by himself. And he had such a profound impact on me, like when I'm in my 20s and I was kind of learning film, that I waited till it was all over and he paid, he's about to leave. And I was like, paid him a compliment and said something. how it affected my life.
And that's
the only time.
That's the interesting thing I think about, like, and I talked about this the other week on one of these shows. It was like, I think it's the timing of like approaching a celebrity. If like normally I don't care, but if it is someone like a Robert Altman or someone that you like grew up watching that kind of was an inspiration in a way. And you happen to meet them or run into them or in the vicinity. Like I met Conan O'Brien last week, and it was like literally he was just standing on the street in front of this coffee place. I had a couple dogs with me, and like nothing was going on. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, this is a good time to like say hello, and I'm a fan, and see if we'll take a selfie or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like I think it's the timing. Like, you don't want to bother them during a meal or when they're with people.
Right.
And Robert Altman leaving to go to his car or whatever. Yeah, that's a good opportunity to say like, "Hey, I'm a fan" or whatever. Absolutely.
And then I followed him home, and he's got weird about it. Then I knocked on his door. He's like, "Please leave."
See, that's taking it too far. But I mean, you don't know until you try. Like he could have invited you in, and made a movie.
And a week later, I was like, "Fine, leave.
I'll leave."
I guess some people don't appreciate their fans.
Exactly. Like, don't they know they're supposed to open their home to you when you follow them home?
It's just weird, It's like I watched his movies.
Yeah, you've watched all his movies, and yet he did not let you in to sleep over or have a drink or whatever. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. It's like every celebrity needs to be prepared for that. I think you're asking for it. You're asking for it. I mean, you're going to have people following you at some point. When you have your Bistro Huddy characters, they're going to be like, "Wait, put the wig on. I'm going to follow you home."
And I'll do it, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, you got look. You got to sell out at this point, Drew. It's just that's where you're at now. So. But it is great. Like the moment of you like dropping the food, like. It's like, that is an asshole thing, but you're also right. It's like every server I think has that point where like I do want to take this plate of food and throw it across the restaurant and hit the wall and have everyone there go, and then be like, "Yep, it was me." It's like
that's right.
That is the dream of every server, I think. So I think you took you took a step towards that at that point.
I had my moment. Yeah, I did, and I got away with it. Right. So let that be a lesson to all of you.
I think everyone, whatever job they are doing, whether they want to do it forever or it's a job to put food on the table, or a job like an actor friendly job, and you're trying to pursue other things. Everyone has their moment, I think, of like losing their shit. Like I walk dogs, so it's like I've been doing that for 12 years. It's a long time now, and it's like at some point I was like, "Oh, this dog sucks," fuck it. And I just like let it loose, and I'm like, "Yeah, fucking." I'm kidding. I'll just tell the owner you took off. Yeah, all right.
But you felt better. Yeah, you felt better.
Exactly.
That's
oh my god, look at this! My lights just went nuts on me. Look at this. That's interesting though. And you are also on Cameo. Is that correct?
Yes.
How is that going?
Yes.
Are you loving Cameo?
I do like making the videos. So I do it a little differently. I do multiple characters and edit it together like a little sketch.
That's great though. But that's a lot of work for you, I would think, no?
It takes some time. This is not like a 15-second thing. I do, I spend like 45 minutes to an hour making these. So
right. So your fans are getting their money's worth when they order from you.
Yeah, well, I've upped it because of the time it took. I started out at a certain price, and I'm like, I can't. This is insane. I can't. This isn't. I made more waiting tables. So and then Cameo takes a percentage, and I also Apple, if you order it through the app, takes an additional on top of Cameo's an additional 30%. So you end up making like half. And so I am not available through the app anymore. You have to go to the Cameo website /Drew Talbert, and then you can order one from me. But that saves me 30%.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if you order through the app, they take more money out. But if you go
Cameo takes 25%, Apple takes another 30%.
Wow.
So you're making less than half of the price.
That's crazy.
If they order it, if they go through the website instead of the app, you only lose the 25% to Cameo, which that's a business. I get it. So
yeah, but everyone's on the friggin' app instead of the.
And
website.
Then they can tip you. And if they tip through the app, same thing. You get Cameo takes percentage of the tip and Apple takes percentage of the tip. This guy gave me a really generous tip. He tipped me $100.
Great.
I got like less than 50 of a tip.
Jesus.
And so I messaged him and I said, dude, and he, and we worked it out.
Can't you put your Venmo up there or something? I mean, you have a website and everything, right? Now, or
well, I have somebody building a website. And I'm going to start doing personalized videos directly through that.
Yeah,
so
that's smart. Yeah,
when that happens, I'll announce it. But Cameo is good. It's a good company. Like they make it easy to do and it feels safe. And
I mean, it's a genius thing that, and it's almost like you have an agent with this Cameo. They're taking 20%. Agent and manager, Apple and Cameo, they're taking 25%.
Right. It's wild, but it is fun. I like making them. It makes me happy to like.
That's good.
Someone will say, "Oh, my wife is a big fan and she loves these characters," and I ask for details, and I'll have like my 3 cooks do a cameo, or they're like,
right,
or like my favorite are people have hired me through Cameo to roast. Like there was a hotel where the chef almost burned it down trying to make funnel cakes. And it was like they were all making fun of him, so they hired me to roast him. So I had the 3 cooks just like roasting this guy for a minute.
That's
and
fun. Yeah.
It was so fun to make, just busting this guy's balls and like.
Yeah, that's fun.
And
that's no wonder why some of these celebrities are charging like $500 for like a cameo video. It's they're getting. And then you can also like text people, like DM them or whatever for like $5.
Yeah. You can set a price for that too. For
that I would like. I haven't done I haven't ordered a cameo yet, but I'm like, if I'm gonna spend, like, some of them are like, oh, $50 for a text. I'm like, how do I know that that's really them? It's like that could be just a bot computer. You know, it's like you might as well get the video. You know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Drew, you've really put yourself out there today. You came on here and you told an a-hole story, and I gotta say, I was impressed with it. It's very few servers would admit to losing their cool on the job like that. But
oh man,
but you've redeemed yourself by coming on the A-Hole podcast today. So usually how we end the show here is that you say your name and then you say that you're an a-hole. So go ahead.
You got it. I'm Drew Talbert and I'm an asshole.
There you go, folks. Drew Talbert, and he is an asshole, but he has come on the show today, and he's redeemed himself. So we thank him for that. Drew, make sure you follow Drew on Instagram at Drew Talbert. His TikTok show is Bistro Huddy. And what days is that live on TikTok?
Oh yeah, Wednesdays.
Oh no, Twitch.
PM.
Sorry, Twitch. Right?
Yeah. It's Twitch. Yeah, Twitch.
I can't keep up with
it's
Twitch.
Twitch. Bistro Huddy.
All right, Bistro Huddy.
It's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday, and then we stream like some behind the scenes too. Like you can watch live as we're shooting and making a video.
Right.
Sometimes just kind of randomly do that too.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's cool.
And then and TikTok, you mentioned TikTok. It's Drew_Talbert there.
Drew_Talbert. Okay, and your Instagram
TikTok.
Is at.
And it's on I put the videos on Facebook and YouTube as well.
So Drew is everywhere. He's hot on the internet right now. You can just find him everywhere, pretty much. Any platform Drew Talbert is on. So make sure you check out his videos, his characters. They're all funny. They're all great. And what else? What else, Drew? Is there anything else you want to plug? You want to talk about?
No, I'm most excited about the live show right now because we're just getting it off the ground, and that's what has been occupying a lot. I've been making fewer videos because of that, but once that's kind of up and going, I feel like I'll get back to that. But that's the main thing right now. Just enjoying getting to know, because that's the great thing about Twitch. Is very community driven, so you like start to get to know some of the people following you. They start showing up every week and
at your house.
Really
Exactly.
Yeah, at my house. Like, maybe we'll start doing this in front of a live studio audience.
Pretty soon, they're gonna be like hiring you to like serve them like food, like as the characters, like in their home.
See, it comes full circle. Like I think I'm trying to find my way out of it, and I end up.
But like,
it is absurd.
But if you got like if someone like hired you, like, hey Drew, we're having a party. And we want 3 of your serving characters to come like serve the show, and it's like a theater slash comedy show.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
Doug, shut your mouth.
I mean, the price tag. I mean, you're gonna have to pay Drew for that. I mean, we're talking.
Oh right,
we're talking.
You have to pay me for like.
I'm talking
the emotional damage.
I'm talking like $1 million payday for some like crazy ass mansion party.
Okay,
something like that.
Now we're talking.
Then you'll do it.
Something
Then you'll
that
do
can
it. Yeah,
get
exactly.
my family a house.
Exactly. There you go. All right. Well, Drew, it's been a pleasure catching up with you. Thank you for doing the show. I appreciate it. And say hello to your family. Hope they're doing well. Thank
you.
I hope to see you soon in person at some point. Groundlings or whatever.
That'd be great.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when all that's going to happen again, but hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. It's having me on, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, this has been I'm an Asshole with Doug Bass. Drew Talbert has been our guest. Remember, folks, don't be an asshole, but if you are, laugh about it and talk about it. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to I'm an Asshole with Doug Bass. Please subscribe to us on all streaming platforms. Have a good asshole story? Email us at doug@dougbasscomedy.com. We'll see you next time.
All right, man. Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
I wonder if we're coming back. That was good stuff, man. Love the intro and outro.
Thank you. Thank you for doing the show. I thought it was a good convo. We had some good moments there, I thought.
Really fun.
For sure, yeah. Well, man, good luck with everything. I mean, I'm glad to see everything's taken off with these internet videos and stuff, and I'm enjoying watching them for sure. So
thanks, man. I appreciate
I'm gonna
it.
tune into the Twitch show and check it out.
Yeah. So, let me know where yours is. What is it? Just asshole.
It's just A-hole podcast. I mean, yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know how to use it really. I mean, I live stream to there usually once a week. I do a live show on Wednesdays or Thursdays usually. So yeah, I just started doing it. So we'll see. Yeah, I gotta figure it out still. But
yeah.
Twitch is an interesting beast, I would say.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're still figuring it out as well. So
yeah, but it's fun. Yeah, for sure. The live element definitely is cool because it's like you feel like you're. Yeah, it's like, oh, we better not fuck up, and then there's a fuck up immediately. It's like,
oh yeah. But that's where your improv training comes in.
Exactly.
Roll with it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man.
They get it too. The audience is just really forget.
Oh yeah, they kind of find it exciting. Like they're like, oh, look at that didn't work. It's like, it's like,
yeah.
It's like you practice it beforehand, switching shit and microphones. And it's like, like last week I went on. It's like someone was watching, like your guest's mic isn't working. I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, there's some button I didn't press. It's like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I've been there. Yep.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, thanks for doing it. Probably in a week I'll have this up, so I'll let you know. And if you feel like sharing it, let me know.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.